Hi guys, we're back. So today is Tuesday, and what I want to do is I want to explain what happened yesterday in my trades, which was Monday the 7th. Okay, so make sure I got my days right. Get my dates right. No, so yesterday was Monday the 8th. Okay, so just want to make sure I have my dates right. Okay, so on the 8th, I searched for my trades through the research I typically do. And let me explain my research to you so you'll understand. I go with the top, I'm day trading, so I go with the top, the most active stocks I can find. And the way I find those is I go by the top traders, okay, in the last 24 hours. I go by the top traders that are rated. So I look for that. And then I take that and I filter it for the ones that have the most volatile activity, okay? And then after that, I look for relative volume. And relative volume is volume divided by average volume. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for at least 4, 5 times the average volume, okay? So if the volume for the day is 4 or 5 times the average volume, that goes into my criteria for how I want to find a trade. Now, I go beyond that. If I can find a trade that has trending to be 10 times, 20 times, 80 times the volatility or volume, the relative volume, then I'm going to look at that first because that gives me a definite resource that's going to be moving up and down. And because I'm day trading, I need that value to move up and down. In some trading types, that's not important, but in mine, it's very important because my trading is done in one day. So I take every day separately. Every day is a new day, and I have to find a new stock that's doing the similar type things. Will you always find those types of stock? The truth is no. There are some days where you're not going to find that kind of volume. So then you have to look for other indications of a stock's movement. So what generally makes a stock move is the news. If the stock is having great news, maybe they had a great third quarter report, maybe they got acquired or they bought a company, or maybe they got some additional funding or different things. All those things are indicators. Maybe they got a new president, okay, or maybe their stock is going to divide or do something. Whatever gives that stock additional attention, that's what I'm looking for. And so once I get the volume, then I'm looking for the float. And the float is how much stock is out there available to buy, you know, how much, I mean, if there's 1 billion shares out there to buy, no matter what the volume is, the relative volume is, it's not going to move the ticker because there's too much out there to buy. Nobody's concerned. We're concerned about supply and demand. So if there's no demand, then the ticker is not going to move up and down the way I want it to. So I need a low float, meaning there's only so many stocks that you can buy. So you want to buy, and then you want to have sellers that are selling. So I'm going to buy and sell in the same day. So it makes sense for me to have a low float because I want higher demand, okay? And I'm looking for that. I'm looking for to kind of have an even number of buyers and sellers. A lot of people are paying attention to these stocks. Hopefully 1 million or so is what I'm going for. But it's not always that many. Okay, so let's get down to the actual stocks that I chose for yesterday. So yesterday I chose several stocks to take a look at. I chose PAVS, okay, and it was on the ticker for 28, what was it, 30, yeah, for 30 cents or something like that, 33 cents, something like that. But the pre-market value had already skipped up to 64 cents. That was another good indicator that, see, the previous day it closed at 33 cents, but it was already up to 64 cents. So that's telling me there's a lot of interest in that stock. So that was one of the ones I was looking at. Now, I don't like what they call penny stocks. I don't like stocks that have that number because you got to buy hundreds of those to get the kind of return I want. So I don't, right now it makes me feel uncomfortable to buy that many. So when I do the account that I want to invest in, that number came to 703 shares. So I would buy 703 shares of that stock and then watch the trade and see how that would go. That's how that equaled out. So basically, the stock was 5 cents, 5 or 6 cents. Okay, that's a really low number. Okay, so now the next one was JFBR. Okay, JFBR was selling for $3.35, and I could probably get it had gone up to about $5 or so, and I could get 8 shares of that. I felt comfortable with trading 8 shares of that one. I'm trying to stick around. You know, I'm practicing. I'm day trading, but I'm practicing paper trades, and I'm trying to stick around $45 right now. That's what I'm working with. So there was another one that was there. It was $5. It didn't have the numbers, but it was interesting because it was trading really, really actively. So I wanted to keep an eye on it. When I actually looked at the market, though, it didn't appeal to me. But I'm going to tell you what it was. It was ELAB. You can look that up if you like. ELAB. Now, so I gave these over to my wife also for her to look at. She's a different type of trader. She's very good at what she's doing too, and I like how she's like me. She's learning, but she does a different type of trade. So I'm also, so she gave me one to look into also, which was Wheeler, and I've used Wheeler before. So when she told me Wheeler, so Wheeler is WHLR, and I'm giving you symbols, WHLR. I'm giving you these symbols because if you look at your brokerage right now, you could pull these up and see exactly which ones I'm talking about, and you'll see where they trended up and they trended down, and you can kind of get an idea of what I bought, of what I sold, that kind of thing. Okay. I typically trade in the mornings, your mornings. Right now I'm in Africa, so it's my afternoon. But typically, the first hour or so, you're going to have some of the best trading going on around. Hour or so, 2 hours. After that, it kind of dies, and then it comes back later on after lunch, kind of a thing. Okay, that's just typical from what I'm seeing. Okay, so now let me tell you how the trades went. Okay, so I was looking at Wheeler. I was looking at the different ones, and mine jumped up and started falling, I believe. And so I couldn't get in where I wanted to get in. So I looked over at Wheeler and I saw that it was trending pretty well. So I tried that one. I tried it and I got out. I thought I was up, but I was down. I was having technical problems with my computer. My computer screen just went blank. So I had to refresh during the middle of a trade. I couldn't see if I bought in on a stop, okay, and I got in, and I bought out on a limit, and I saw that I got out, right? And then my computer just went crazy. So then I didn't know if it was a win or if it was a loss. I didn't know if I actually captured what I wanted to. So I did that. I later found out that I lost, okay? So by the time I got out, depending on whether it was my computer's error or depending on how many seconds it took to sell that stock, I was at a loss. And I was at a loss for 7 cents, which was odd. But I thought I was up when I made the trade, but it didn't work out. Then I took another trade, and this time I was looking at PAVS. So I'm looking at PAVS, and I'm putting in 703 shares. So I get in, okay, and then it goes, it just goes down, it plummets. So I ended up getting out of that one at $1. I was negative. I was like $1.21 or $1.12. I was negative by the time I got out of that one. And I was having trouble getting out of that one. So it was just tricky. I went in on a stop and it was going well, and then it just plummeted. And then I was like, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. And you should never say that. That's like the famous last words. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. It didn't come back. I ended up losing, and I went down to like $1 and 21. And I was like, okay, I'm done for the day. After that trade, I was frustrated with my computer, wanted to throw it in the garbage. And then I wasn't happy with at the time that I entered the trade and got out of the trade. Okay. So I took a break and I came back and I looked. I said, okay, I'm just going to look and see where it's at. You know, that frustration. Okay. I'm just going to look and see where it's at. I'm done for the day. So what could it hurt? So I go in again. I look and the thing is trending up again in a big way. And it does that thing where it trends up and it stops. And then it goes over again and it's trending up again. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna get in. So make a long story short, I got in maybe 2 more times like that, where it was actually going up and trending up. And I was catching the breakout that I was hoping for the first time when it reversed on me the first time, but this one, it was actually going up. So basically, this one got me out of the negative. I bought in and sold out. It got me out of the negative and put me in the positive for about a plus 35 cents at this point. So I'm like, hey, you know, if all goes south, I'm up positive for the day because I took that additional trade. But it looks like it's going to trend up and go again. So I'm setting up another trade. I'm setting up another one. And just as I'm setting up, it plummets again. It faked me out again. Now, I didn't take the last trade, so I ended up for the day. And I was like, okay, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop there. And that's what happened yesterday. So that's where I ended up. Eventually, I'm going to get to a point where I'm able to trade and show you the screen in real time. And right now I'm really focused on the trade itself and I'm documenting the trade in this way. But eventually I'll get to a point where I can put you on the screen and show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm recording this video. My hope is to get to a point where I can actually stream the video live, but I'm having a lot of technical problems with my computer, the website, my camera, everything. So until I get that down, the streaming is just not working. So I'm just recording these so I can document how it's going. Well, that's how yesterday went. So stay tuned. If you like this and you're starting out as a day trader and you want somebody to follow along with you and go along with you, and you want to see someone who's going to give you the good, bad, the ugly, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell and you can follow my progress. I have real goals of things I want to do with this, but I'm documenting this because, you know, I've done a lot of things successfully in my life, but I never really documented it. And so now I want to document this because I have real goals. I can see where I'm going to be with this one day. I want to be the Muhammad Ali of day trading. Okay. So I want to be really successful at this. I'm willing to learn it. And if you're willing to learn it and you want to be with somebody like you who's doing that kind of thing, follow along with me. Follow along with me and just check it out. Now, if you want to go find somebody who's already a millionaire, who's already got a Ferrari, who's already got diamonds around their neck and all that, because I don't need that, okay? But if you want to go follow somebody, there's plenty of those guys out there, okay? All right? I'm not faking anything. I don't have any diamonds. I don't have a Ferrari or none of that. What I'm doing is day to day, I'm going to be in the trenches doing this until it works out, till I understand it, till I get it right. And right now, I want you to know, this is a cold market. This is a cold market in the United States because of the leadership and the decisions they've made to make businesses suffer. So this is a cold market. People aren't really putting a ton of money into the stock market. It still makes money, but it's not a hot market. It's a cold market. This is the best market to learn in. So if you want to learn how to do this, that way, when the market gets hot, you can just bank a lot of money, okay? But this, getting in the trenches with me would be your best bet to learn how to do this from somebody who has no money, okay? And go along with, become a friend with me and we can both have no money together and then one day have some money, okay? So this This is the type of thing they don't teach you in school. You got to get out there and learn it for yourself. So if you want to learn this, this is the time to do it. Basically, the money that I put in my 401k and all that, it doesn't do anything. Them people didn't try to make me rich. That money's just sitting there. It's doing nothing. I just decided I'm going to take control of my own money and I'm going to invest it. And when I retire, I'm going to have something. I'm not going to be broke like everybody else. Okay? I'm going to do something different than what they're doing. So I suggest you do the same thing. If you're smart, you're going to do the same thing. You're not going to be sitting around waiting for a Social Security check that may or may not come. You see what our government is doing. So guess what? If they can take that Social Security check that you're supposed to be getting back, that's up to them. We have no control over that because they have the money. We don't. So I'm just telling you like this. This is another way. This could be your side hustle. This could be your thing until it becomes the big deal. So that's just my advice to you. But for right now, that's my day for today. And I'll catch you on the next one. So stay tuned, hit that bell, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.